Consciousness Experiment Weekly Review, May 15th through 21st, 2011. Right off the cuff, same as last week. No events occurred 3 days this week. Events did occur 4 days of the week. So we're staying, approximately right up there at a steady increased rate. It's not going any higher, it's not going any lower. And there's a few things I'd like to say about that in today's log in just a moment. This week's, if you're following the written logs, you'll see this week is clearly showing, just very clearly showing. This is fun to see for me. I don't know how fun it is for anyone else, but it's fun for me. Anyway, this week's written logs are clearly showing the way when I step out of my rule sets and my schedule is disrupted. No events will occur these days. But when I do state, I also want to say, most especially not when it's just a little step outside or a little change that happens, but when it's quite dramatic, when 3 or 4 of the items in my rule set are stepped outside of, when my schedule is moderately or highly disrupted, no events. But if everything stays pretty steady, the rule sets are easy to follow and my schedule has no big dings in it, then, almost every single time something will happen, an event will occur. And so, anyway, if you want to peek into the logs, if you haven't been yet, or if you have been, you'll see the clear evidence this week, because my schedule got highly disrupted due to a few things. Before I go on, by the way, I do want to say that I met one of my YouTube friends this week, Stephen Jones, who has written his new book. Pop it right in here. He came through LA and spoke at MUFON. And one of the days where my schedule got disrupted was the one where I went to go listen to his talk, because it kept me up well past my bedtime, and the energy in the room was just freaking incredible. So much energy was running through me, I got dizzy to the point of not being able to drive home. Luckily, your friend was with me and she drove us home. But anyway, great talk, excellent talk. If you have the opportunity to see him as he's passing through your city, I highly recommend it. And I haven't read his book yet, but I, of course, wanted to be supportive and buy it, and I will look into it. Okay, so I just want to put that through. The logs, if you're looking into the logs, this is getting to be sort of an issue in itself, which I really did not pre-see. But logging these events, even in the brevity that I am at the moment, is making for considerable time on the computer. And so a lot of time on the computer is disruptive to me. I'm trying to spend less and less time on the computer. So I may have to, I think for this coming month, so that I have a solid 3-month block of time, I will continue with the logs in the amount of detail that I'm supplying right now. But after that, I may be considering writing things in even further brevity, so I'm not having to spend so much time on the computer. Keeping interest up. This is interesting. It's no different than meditation, or like if you happen to play sports and are on a team, anything that you do regularly, repeatedly. There does have to be a degree of interest for you to keep going, but keeping interest up when sort of different than playing a ball game a time or two a week and playing a ball game every day is very different. And I'm noticing that things like this are creeping in. I think the first week I began this experiment, I had a run where I was having experiences every morning for 5 or 6 days in a row. And I remember on that fifth or sixth day, when things started happening again almost immediately, I was like, oh my gosh, if I turn this on, am I going to be able to turn it off? I remember getting scared, and it almost felt, on that fifth or sixth day intrusive, even though I'm the one openly instigating the events occurring. I still felt that way. And that was interesting to me. Things like this rise up, I get to see how I truly do deeply inwardly feel about, things moving in permanently. And I have a period of time to acclimate to that. I can see why events are occurring 4 days a week. That's my cozy maximum at this point. But it's nice. It's better than twice a week or twice a month, when things diminished down even lower. I don't like it when things go down that low. I need for events to be occurring at a minimum. And right now, that minimum is 2, 3, 4 times a week. My cozy maximum seems to be 4, 5 times a week, especially when the events are intense, in depth, big, which they often are. Okay, so there's something that I would like to take the time here now to try to put through. I'm not really sure how well I will do this. Is something that, oscillates in and out of my awareness. It's something that's oscillating in my awareness right now, so I want to take the opportunity to try to express this. Shifting my consciousness into other reality systems more frequently doesn't begin and end with just this. Shifting my consciousness is not just shifting my consciousness. There's an inner energy center alignment that allows this to happen. And when the inner energy centers align, a more high, stronger, potent flow of energy comes through. These flows of energy are increased, stronger than what we're normally used to experiencing in our 3D physical reality. And these energy flows the way I see it, are adapting the physical body system to handle the higher energy flows more aptly, so that there's not so much discomfort when they're coming through. Right now there's discomfort. So when I shift my consciousness into other reality systems more frequently, co-simultaneously, these increased, higher potency streams of energy are also coming through me, and my body has to be able to handle this. During the period of time when my body is being adapted to handle them, I'm experiencing duress in my physical body. Much like a 50-watt light bulb would exhibit stress were 100 watts attempting to flow through it. So as I'm doing this, as I'm allowing my consciousness, as I'm allowing myself to be aware of my consciousness shifting into other reality systems, also there's this additional energy flow through the body system. Right now my body system is feeling the stress through my spine, really intensely through my spine. It started coming through more cleanly all the way through into my physical body system weeks back. I've had some lower back pain this week. The lower back pain began radiating. If you look into my logs, you'll see the way I've experienced some of these flows coming or traversing the spine. In this one scenario, I was shot with a device that hooked itself in 6 locations and 3 points down either side of my spine directly behind my heart, and I felt this severely in my dream body and my physical body, both co-simultaneously. The pain is now radiating up into my side neck. Yesterday was so intense, I literally had to spend the day down. I couldn't move hardly at all. So I'm just wanting to put this through so that you understand if you too also decide to do something similar, to really test your limits, which is, I suppose, what I'm doing right now. That along with going out of body and all of this other, the energy center alignment that allows this to happen is going to start letting more stronger energy flows through to your body system, and your body system again is going to need to be able to handle it. You'll have to be able to keep up with what you need to do to absorb and let the energy express through you. It does need a form of expression. This is what I'm currently in the midst of finding. It seems that the energy streams through me want to express in a healing fashion. This totally correlates with my line of work, which is as a yoga teacher and care person. And so I've got my eyes open as to how I can express this more fully so that my body system does not experience as much duress in this transformation stage where my body is being adjusted, again, to more rightly handle the flows. Okay, that's enough on that. Well, almost. There's something that's happening at the same time as I'm experiencing this duress through my spine. And that is what I've been calling the inner chill. This is a particular energy flow I feel coming through the body system in the period where I am shifting my consciousness inwardly and I'm about to project, go out of body phase into another reality system. And recently, a few weeks ago, I began experiencing this more physically as a deep, deep cold, just really cold. When it happens, I will have to put the blankets all the way up over my head to help create warmth. And I'm currently investigating the correlation, if any, between the new way that I'm experiencing the inner chill and the back pain, to see if there's anything further I need to know or do to help from my position here in the physical reality. The 2 other things that are happening this week are, if you're following the logs, what I have come to call etheric drills. This is when my consciousness shifts into the etheric, or what other people would call an OBE. And I'm run through these drills. The drill is simply to come awake to the fact that I'm out of body. The moment I do come awake to the fact that I'm out of body, I shift into another environment where, again, I will have to catch that I'm out of body. These just happen back to back to back to back repeatedly until momentum is gained to throw my awareness way out into a reality system beyond the etheric. And they're very fun. They're happening a lot, but my recent curiosity is how they get triggered. There's nothing odd happening in my environment. Nobody's acting weird. Nobody's saying anything odd. Nothing is out of the normal. They typically begin right here in my room. Everything is just as it is. And so I'm curious as to how they begin. What triggers them? And I'm investigating this. The last item is what I call the interval space. Last month or the month before, the energies working with me began when shifting me into an environment. Before shifting me into another, will put me in this interval space for approximately 10-15 minutes. It's always the same length of time. I don't know what it is. It's very curious. It has a very distinct feeling. It has a very distinct sound, a very distinct color. Unlike the void, it is a very deep chocolate brown with a shade of pink that emanates from deep within it. This particular feeling and sound is used for a particular reason. I'm beginning to glean the reasons why. You can check inside the written logs to see that. For now, I'm not going to go into it at the moment because this is already getting long, but I'm investigating this. So a lot of interesting things happening for me, curiosity-wise, that are expanding my current awareness, my current state of knowing, understanding, which is always fun for me because I tend to be an awareness, consciousness, and intellect type. So I do like to be aware. I do like to know. I do like to understand. And let's see, my highlight experience this week. This is such a good one. It might seem little, actually, but not. It happened the night before last. It happened in the middle of the night, again, which is odd. The majority of my experiences do happen during practice sessions, but this happened in the middle of the night at about 3 a.m. I shift into the void, and in the void I am accelerated, adjusted, and rotated for a solid 30 minutes or more. Straight. That's never happened before. During this time, this is the part that really takes it over the top. I am in communication, in a steady dialogue with the energy that is performing these accelerations, adjustments, and rotations. And this is just extraordinary to me. This is really the experience that has the fullness of my attention at the moment, is this contact with my inner team, the subconscious and superconscious levels of my total self or being. Just being aware that they're here, feeling them as tangibly as I feel anyone else, communicating, dialoguing in a language I understand is extraordinary. And just wow. I know at this point, after having digested the experience for a few days now, that I was actually in what I call landing locations, specific environments at the same time. But I was just letting the fullness of my awareness rest in the void with this energy and this dialogue occurring between us. I was left with a song, as this one always does. After this, it's playing in my mind almost constantly ever since. The impression left with it was incredibly lasting. But the song was, oh gosh, let's see. I can't think of it right now. The title, because I was left with another one this morning, which was I'm gonna make you love me. That one is put through to me a lot. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. You're gonna have to check the written log. I'll link it below. You can check it. And anyway, the message from it was simply that this particular energy if I'm receiving the message right, may be away from me for the duration of the summer months. And back in September, according to the song lyrics. All right, I think that's it for today.